I'm excited. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? Man, let me get this rocking. Boom, boom, boom. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, my people? What's going on? Welcome Thursday. What's going on? Good to be here. I'm always happy to be here. I'm always happy to be with my people. If y'all are hearing me good, you know the routine. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you're hearing me nice and cleary. Phone lines are open, 929-269-4922. Cash App is up. You know what it is. Let's see if I can get this going up here. Yeah, there it is. And the PayPal is up. Appreciate you. Appreciate y'all. Thumbs up in the chat if y'all can hear me. All right, cool. Thank you. Let me go through who's in the chat real quick. DJ Sneaker Freak 1, Anthony Drassos. What's going on? You played yourself. Kenny B in the building. Rocky the Hooligan, what's up? Yeah, everybody's coming in. It's still early. We just getting it together. Definitely wanted to lead this off with I want to talk about myself a little bit and tell to show you that this was a journey for me. Like my life was a journey as well. And what I want you to understand is that very rarely there's only two things in my life that I actually intentfully decided to do. One was be a male stripper. Two was being a comic. And three was doing this podcast. Everything else that I've done, pimping and hustling and bare knuckle fighting and everything that I did was kind of something that I fell into, that I didn't really have any intentfulness. And so I want to talk about that a little bit because of the fact that one of the reasons why I'm constantly saying that your words and your actions need to be intentful is it's not because I'm preaching to y'all. It's because I didn't do it. I didn't do it till I was way older. And had I have done it when I was way older, this would have been a platform that you guys would have grew up listening to. God bless the dead, no man above his name, Kevin Samuels and Fresher Fit and Andrew Schultz. I mean, this is stuff that I was talking about before any of them. We're talking about, I mean, I didn't officially talk about it on the radio and stuff until 2006 when Patrice came into my life and gave me the opportunity to go on the radio. But I had been talking about this stuff with my friends and my family, and that was always kind of the case. But nothing I did was intentful. I went to college listen, I rode a unicycle. I know y'all bug out, but I rode a unicycle. I still can ride a unicycle. How about that? At 300 pounds, probably look like a bear on a unicycle, but that's neither here nor there. But riding a unicycle was something. There was a unicycle in the house, in my father's house, in the basement. Somebody had left it, and I took it out and I learned it. I went to college on a fencing scholarship, a partial scholarship at New Paltz on a fencing scholarship, and that was because my father knew a guy who was teaching fencing, and because he was teaching fencing, my father was like, "You want to take it?" I was like, "Sure." Me and my dad, we didn't spend a lot of time together. My dad taught boxing. I didn't want to box, so I took martial arts. I eventually took boxing, but it wasn't something that I wanted to do. It was something that just came along. I went to school. I took a job as a foster care parent in Poughkeepsie, New York. And I fell in love with the work, with doing youth work. And so I had youth. I was a primary house parent at a group home. There was this particular kid who didn't have any family. I took to the kid. I worked out with the kid. I took the kid home on my Christmas vacations from college. He became like my little brother. He ended up getting lost in the system and ended up in a sanitarium because he was a big kid, and they were, the system is just screwed up. I without a doubt, I left school because I was depressed. Slept on my mom's couch for 6 months, and I had a friend of mine who was already stripping. I was getting a haircut. He walked past the barbershop. I ran out with the smock. I said, give me a second. I talked to him, and then I started doing stripping. Then I created a group, and I produced huge shows, 4,000 women, 5,000 women at times. I traveled up and down the East Coast, so through Europe and through Bahamas and the West Indies. And, I was right around that time, Rudy Giuliani was cleaning up New York, and he had Vice Squad. And so I knew all the female strippers, and because Rudy Giuliani was, sending Vice into strip clubs, making sure everything, just busting balls. And it's interesting. The guy at the comedy club, at the strip club, was like, listen, these girls respect you. Why don't you come and make sure that they don't have sex in my club and don't get me closed down? So I managed the club, which ultimately ended up me managing them. I took a job with the phone company. I always wanted to do stand-up comedy. And that was stand-up comedy. And stand-up comedy, I didn't start doing comedy until I was in my 40s. I stayed with the girl that I was with. We ended up getting married. We got divorced because of doing comedy. But comedy was really the only thing that I ever made a choice to do. Like, I was like, I'm going to do this. That and this podcast. So in my life, I have a series of things where I was traveling and moving through life, right, in a way that didn't have any direction. And because I didn't have any direction, I'm not saying I'm unhappy with my life. My son wasn't planned. It popped up. She popped up pregnant, and I didn't have any kids. And I was like, fine. Not even that was something that was planned. So when I'm talking to you guys about how important it is to be intentful about what you do, why it's important to have a direction, to have a distinct direction about what you want. There's a reason why I'm talking about it. I'm not just blowing smoke. I'm talking about this because this was a problem that I had. And although I'm truly happy with my life and the way my life turned out, but to be honest, it absolutely could have been better if I had some direction, if I had an intent. This is gonna sound crazy. Like I always say this, I was never a gunman. Never walked around with a ratchet. Never kept a toaster on me. But I always, my weapon of choice when I was running the streets was an ice pick. And one of the reasons why it was an ice pick, because an ice pick can go through anything. There is no defense to an ice pick. And I'll tell you why. what happens with an ice pick is you have all of the pounds of pressure that you have are put behind a needle point, literally a needle, a steel needle. And so no matter how much you think something is, a coat, a bone, a skull, leather, whatever, even Kevlar to a certain extent, it'll go through a vest. It goes through because everything is focused. All of the pounds of pressure that you have is focused onto a pinpoint. And that is what makes it unstoppable. What I'm trying to say is you got to ice pick your thinking. You got to, because when you are focused, when your thoughts are focused, when your actions are focused, when there is nothing wasted, right? You become unstoppable. Whatever it is that you want, you can get it. It's very rare that an ice pick doesn't puncture whatever's in front of it. And it's because it is innately because it is focused. And so when you start to remove all of this peripheral stuff, all this nonsense that you're thinking about, all the emotion that comes into play that eventually blocks your thinking and blocks your focus about that blunts your ability to make your life what you want it to be. I absolutely, don't get me wrong, I absolutely believe that your ability to be happy is your ability to change and adapt. If you can't adapt, you're not going to be happy, because one thing that you will always have to deal with is change. Everything changes, everything passes, everything moves on, and your ability to address those things are the most important thing. We got a call. Let's get into it. Yo, what's your name? Where you calling from?
How's it going, Dante? This is James calling from North Carolina, New York transplant.
What's going on, James? How you doing, bro?
Good. Just getting through the week, you know. So I'm actually calling because I wanted to, so first off, it was very good hearing your life story, and then more importantly, the lessons that you're taking away from it. That was really, really good to hear.
Yeah.
But I'm calling about confidence. And specifically, I'm calling about confidence because I've been through this. A number of my friends, I've seen them go through this, whereby when things are going good in life, they got confidence. And when certain things fall out, when they start, whether if they lose a job and you know, if they can't find one for 6 months, a year sometimes, when they lose a job, they lose that confidence.
Right.
What say you about having confidence with women and how to go about maintaining your confidence, even when, say, something as important as money is not on the table at the moment?
Let me hold on, Ron. That was the wrong sound effect. I wanted to give you that because it's such a good question. And one of the reasons why I lit off today, we're talking about my life, and I'm probably going to go a little deeper into it, you know, throughout the show or whatever. But let's talk about Diddy, right? Did Diddy ever not have money?
Nah, he's been having bread since the 90s. He was like, goddamn, what, 2019 or something like that? Yeah.
Right. Did he ever not have the cars? Did he ever not have the clothes? Did he ever not have, you know what I mean? Like, and let's be honest, the debauchery that was going on, right? Like when you talk about him, and you know, they talk about Cassie and how he didn't stop. Like anybody that talked to Cassie, the goons would show up at the recording studio if she was trying to do a song or whatever. I remember Chief Keef was saying that, you know, the goons, like threaten to hang him out the window and all kinds of stuff. So here's a
Yo, that's
situation.
crazy.
Here's a situation where this guy had everything that in your mind thinks, in your mind and your friends' mind, and most guys think these are the things that give me the confidence, right? When my job is going, when I got my car, when I got, right? But the reality is, when it came down to it, I mean, Diddy didn't stalk women. He paid people to stalk them. He had goons to stalk him. So he was afraid that anytime that his chick turned the corner, she was going to find something better, right? That at any given time, she could find something better. She could not validate him, not think that he was what, that he wasn't what she really wanted. So what can we discern from that? When we think about that, what can we discern from it? This is a guy who never had any confidence about anything. It was all fake confidence, right?
Wow.
It was all, why would you need to, look, if I'm making money like that and I got a chick with me and she's staying in my $1 million house and all of that, dog, go where you want to go.
That's a fact. Like what makes you at that level saying, oh, I need people to follow her, or I need people to control them, and like what?
Because you're a punk. You understand?
Wow.
You're a punk. That's why. You don't think all the money, all the jets, all the money, all the jewelry, all the TV, this, the label, you still worried when it comes down to it. You're worried about somebody else beating your time. Understand that that's the nature. That's why this is what it is. Why did Harvey Weinstein do what he did? He did what he did because he believed that he was worthless. So he said, I'm going to become rich and powerful, create opportunities, and I'm going to make sure that I bend people's will. Women that find me hideous, I'm going to force them to lie to me about what I like or what I don't like.
This is why it brings me to two ideas. On the one hand, it brings me to a Hov quote. Man, you was who you was before you got here. It brings me to that. And then it brings me to the second thing, which is what you're touching on, which is it's about belief. If you believe that you are little, if you believe you're small, if you believe you're worthless, then that's the energy you're going to give off.
Okay, so here's my question. Here's my question to you. You call me up and ask me about the confidence. So when a guy loses his job or when he don't have the car or whatever, right? The reason why you lose your confidence is because your value to you, what makes you worthy is your possessions, not who you are.
So now this is interesting, and this might be a bit of a rabbit hole, and stop me if it is. But I tried to break that down because when I was
do me a favor, back off the phone a little bit because you sound a little muffled.
My fault. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So when I was in one of those holes of not feeling worthy, I found myself essentially trying to break down, well, what does make confidence? And it's weird because one of the things that I realized was, let's say if it's not bread, then it's got to be something else. And the thing that I landed on was a support system. And obviously, this is what families are for.
What do you mean? What do you mean support system?
Support system whereby, okay, you may not be feeling great because you don't have bread, but you might be feeling good because you got family, people who care
let me
about
ask
you
you this.
just for you.
Are there dudes in your? Do you have family members that are losers?
I mean, I wouldn't categorize them that way, but they would categorize themselves that way. Yeah.
Okay. And why do they think that they're losers? They have. I mean, clearly, you're not. You won't even categorize them as losers. My point is, they have support groups. I mean, we all got family members that are F ups, and what do? We try to help them and we lift them out, and and they're always a problem. We all got somebody who's in and out of jail or can't hold a job or has substance abuse, and all of that is based on the fact of what, again, low self-esteem, right?
But now it begs the question: how do you build self-esteem? I mean,
I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that.
Okay.
Here's the point. I just want you to point it. It has nothing to do with your group, with your support group. I mean, yeah, your support group, that's fine, right? Even when we talk about like here's a situation. Mayweather was always one of my favorite fighters, right? And one of the things about Mayweather was always funny. Mayweather would party, be at the clubs, everything, but at a certain time, he would get up and he would leave, right? And he would tell his crew, he would tell his crew, look, y'all could stay if you want, but 5 o'clock in the morning, y'all better be on that trail. We got running to do. And so his discipline, his readiness, every time he had a fight, never lost, but let's be honest, never was out of shape, never didn't do what he needed to do to win the fights, right? And and so there's a certain level of confidence that you walk into the ring when you have a good camp, when you've trained enough, when you've worked.
No. So but you're getting to something. You're getting to something that I suppose zero in on, and I think you just helped me just now, which is the confidence comes from a certainty because you've done something, meaning you've been able to reproduce.
Because you put the work in.
You put the work in. And so now my question when asking the confidence thing, what I was really trying to get to was, where does confidence come from? Because I've looked at it as I've seen myself and other people get confidence from money. I've seen myself and other people get confidence from their support group.
Okay, stop. Because I know where you're going. Yeah. Here's my point.
Yeah.
That's fine when you have the money, but when you don't have the money, you don't have the confidence, right?
Yeah.
When you have, what is the one thing if I let's say I said you did a consultation with me, right? While I'm saying I'm gonna put it up. Dante Nero, one-on-one consultations, click on consult. Say you're doing a consultation and you start, and I'm consulting with you and you're laying the 5 bricks, right? And let's say you go a week, 2 weeks, and you're doing what I'm telling you to do, and you call back for the follow-up call, right? And I say, did you do what I asked you to do? If you say to me, I did it some of the days, but I didn't do it other days,
the discipline wasn't there.
How do you feel when I ask you, did you do what I told you to do?
Yeah, feel weak, feel small, feel lackluster.
Right, because you're full of shit. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because you're trash dance, and you know it. It's like you ever go to school and not do your homework, and then you hoping they don't ask for the homework, and then she says everybody passed the homework up, and then you didn't do it. How do you feel?
You start there sweating. Yeah.
So you're
looking around. You're unsure.
You're sweating because you didn't do what you were supposed to do. So then the question begs, what are the things you need to do? If you're a liar and I catch you in the lie, you get that same feeling. I didn't do my homework. I am misrepresenting myself. I'm afraid to be exposed for what I am. And so what's the first principle? And if you listen to my content, is what? It's authenticity. Which is what?
Indeed, yeah.
Telling the truth, right?
It's crazy. It's crazy to build on that. Like, there are people that are so good at lying. And let's assume someone didn't do the homework and they lied about doing their homework. There's some people that are so good at lying that they lie to themselves, and that leads to a false confidence.
Yeah, but no, actually, that's where you're wrong. It doesn't lead to a false confidence, because the bottom line is you didn't do it. See, no matter what happens, eventually you got to hand the homework up. So if you don't have it, right, you're trying to do it, maybe you're trying to do it in class, whatever it is. But even when you do it in class and you get it, what happens if you finish it before the teacher asks you for it? There's a relief that you finished, but you still know it's trash. If you spent the school year not doing your work, not doing your homework, and then it's parent teachers today, how nervous are you about going up to parent teachers? You know you're trash. Here's another thing. What's the second principle? Credibility. Showing up when you say you're supposed to show up. So if you knew you were supposed to go to school, your mama said, make sure you do your homework, make sure you do your term papers, make sure you go to school on time. If you haven't done that on parent teachers conference, if you haven't done it, it's coming out, right?
Fact.
So
Yeah.
Where's your confidence? Where's your confidence when that happens? There ain't none.
It's in hell. Yeah, fact. Yeah.
Okay, and the other thing is, if you have gained power or you're in a power position and you treated people like trash, right? You have no empathy for people, no love for people. You have taken your power, right? And treated
and just abused it.
Why do you think everybody's the Kobayashi from Sony Music in Japan is resigned? Why do you think that Chris Lighty let the resign? Why do you think that J-Lo and them is out of the country? Why do you think Aston? All of these dudes they got skeletons. Why do you think Ellen was so messed up when they came out that she was an awful human being? That she treated
the through line with all of them, Chris Lighty the exception, the through line is lack of authenticity, lack of honesty.
It's lack of all of the above. It's you wasn't telling the truth. You weren't showing up when you were supposed to show up, and with somebody like Ellen DeGeneres or somebody like Puff Daddy,
have no empathy.
Puff Daddy was the ain't no party like a Diddy party. But you were molesting children. You were raping dudes.
Yeah.
You might have allegedly you might have created murders, and so now you're being exposed for who you really are. Where's your confidence? And the reality is that here's a dude who didn't have the confidence in the first place. Now, check this out. If you're homeless, but you tell the truth, right? If you're homeless and you say, listen, I'm gonna come by and sweep in front of you, and you show up on time, you do the good job. When you put your hand out because you're trying to hustle, there's a confidence because the job was done well. These three principles are the things that lead to confidence.
Success. Wow. I actually never thought about them in that manner, but yeah, those are the building blocks to confidence.
But it's funny because I get it. It's deeper than that. Nobody's ever asked me this question, but that's why the principles are what they are. My whole life, all of the twists and turns that I've had, I have
the teachings.
I've been crystallizing this. I've been trying to figure out what is the thing that creates confidence. What is the thing that makes you bulletproof? What is the thing? And when you boil it down, there's only three things. Because if you're gay and you're not living your truth, right? You don't want to be exposed, so you're a liar, right?
Yeah.
If you know you didn't do the work and you cheated your way and you don't have the credibility and you don't show up, you got a job interview, you show up late for the job interview. How do you feel? Where's your confidence?
Yeah. You feel hollow. Yeah, that's a fact.
And when you know that you've been disrespectful and you've treated people like trash because you have no empathy, how do you feel when you are exposed? Ellen DeGeneres, her theme was be kind to each other. Meantime, she was treating people like trash. So when she got exposed,
absolute garbage.
She got exposed. She gave some crappy apology, some non-apology, which is the same thing that Diddy did. To redeem some favor, because we all look after we watched him drag Cassie in the hallway. There's nothing he could say, so he was, so he figured, let me back up. It's trash.
Yeah. There's no way to cover that up. There's no way to cover up that kind of behavior on everybody you just mentioned. It's Ellen, it's Diddy.
J-Lo thing. J-Lo is. It's all of them.
That was murky. That was murky. But a lot of people are coming to light, and it's looking bad. But the point being, your point is taken. Like, the fundamental building block of confidence is ACE.
Yeah.
And the reality is, you follow ACE, you're going to see rewards. And there's no way around it. And it's crazy because I'm of the mind that says, yeah, I don't care how difficult something is. Meaning, I'm not a heart surgeon, but I guarantee you give me the material, you give me 5, 6, 7 years, and I just study the material, and I'm just on it, and I'm on it authentically, I'm on it credibly. Guarantee you I'll become a goddamn heart surgeon.
I'm gonna tell you something else.
Yeah.
Even if you homeless, right? And I ask you, yo, you want to be homeless? If you give me an eye and say no, right? And I say, well, this is what you need to do. You need to do this. You need to do that. Let's be honest. At one point in time, Diddy had that growth. Diddy worked as an A&R for free. He couldn't get a job with Clive Owens and Andre Harrell. He worked for free for summers.
That's crazy.
And that's how he got the job. And then once he got the job and he got the power because he was so insecure, because he really didn't have confidence, because he was he started being a dirtbag, and he made people jump through hoops. Harvey Weinstein, Clive Owens,
they all fucking do it. What the fuck?
Epstein, all of these dudes, Prince Andrew, all of these dudes were there. And when you pull a cover off them and there's no truth, everybody's scattering like roaches.
Cockroaches scurry, man. Cockroaches scurry. That's crazy.
That's the answer. So I appreciate the call, because it's y'all guide, whether you realize or not. Y'all guide the show by the questions that you think. But there's a reason why Ace is the principles. You got me?
Right on. I appreciate that. Thank you, Dante.
All right, family. Thanks for calling in, bro.
All right, have a good one.
Yeah. I'm mad at myself sometimes because I probably should have explained. If I didn't explain that, I probably should have explained that. When you lead off with that, when your first step, when you put your feet on the ground, there's truth, credibility, and honesty. It is a recipe for success. It is a recipe for confidence. It is a recipe for respect as well. Phone lines are open. Where was I? Yeah, so I only thing I ever wanted to be was a stand-up comedian. And to do this podcast was a thought. It was me going, what do I want to do? I'm not rich, but I ain't broke. I could do what I want to do. And if I can't do what I want to do now, I can do what I want to do. Give me a week or two to scrape the dough up. I can get it up. I can get it popping.